One of the biggest lies being told in football right now is that muscle makes you slow. This is going to be the topic of the day, and I want to just explain to you guys why this is completely outdated and old thinking, the reality of it, and why muscle is not the problem, it is actually the way you're training. If we look at some of the best players in the world, they are true athletes. You have Lewandowski, Zlatan, Cristiano. You have Adama Traore, the fastest player. Look at Gareth Bale. All these insanely explosive, strong players. They are muscular. But the thing about it is that when people think of bodybuilding in football or building muscle, they think of you becoming slow, but it's because you're doing it wrong. The first topic we're going to go into is the old way of thinking. So again, some of these are still being taught, which is a problem. And I'm going to go into the first one here, which is that people think that you must be light to be fast. Now, if you think of a marathon runner, if you think of just a midfielder who can run a lot, sure, you're going to be very thin, very light, very low body fat, very low muscle. But you're not going to be as explosive, you're not going to be as powerful. This right here is factually incorrect because to be explosive, you must have muscle and you must have power. The second topic is that weights means you will be bulky. Again, this is incorrect. When people think of weights and being bulky, it is because they look at people who have higher percentage of body fat. When you're natural, you will never be bulky if you are sub 12%, which is what you should be if you're a serious football player. Like, even look at just any of an average football player. They all have muscle. You have to be in the gym to be strong. So the next topic is that people think is that bodybuilding is bad for football, which is already incorrect because the only way to build a muscle is through hypertrophy training. Now, when bodybuilding is bad is when that's all you do. You don't do any sprint training, you don't prioritize your football, you don't do sprints. That is the problem, not solely bodybuilding. And the last point is that aesthetic body doesn't matter. It actually used to be frowned upon. People used to think and look at Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, and say, he thinks he looks so good, he loves himself. But at the end of the day, that is why people love him, because he's good and he looks good. It is a very big factor. The aesthetic football system that I have developed, it's kind of a combination. You want to look good, which will in turn help you play good. Confidence is one of the main drivers of performance. For example, I was the exact same player from one year to another, but I became so confident between that time. It felt like I had became just a completely different player, but I trained the same. I could do the same things in training. It was just confidence, and it was because of I felt good the way I looked. Now I want to go into the reality. So, number one, strength equals force, and force equals speed. You must be strong to have power in your legs. Now, of course, there are genetics and there are things that you get naturally when you are born that might make you faster than another person and that might give you a higher limit. But if you look at the best sprinters in the world, the fastest players in the world, they are doing non-stop plyometrics, squats, single leg exercises, all these things because you need strength to produce force, which will produce speed. Now, the thing about hypertrophy and strength is that muscle size is directly correlated with strength, but strength is not directly correlated with muscle size. So the bigger muscle that you have, you will be stronger. But just because you are stronger doesn't mean that you will have bigger muscle. Remember, we are also wanting to look good because it is a priority. You have to be confident. You have to look good to coaches. You have to look good as a player. You have to give intimidation. When you're playing against somebody, they look at you and the first impression you give them is it's going to matter the whole rest of the game. If you're a winger and you have big shoulders, you have big legs, and you're fast, you're powerful, bro, they're gonna be scared. So the third point on the reality is kind of like what we just talked about, that muscle plus power plus strength. These are the keys to being explosive, to being fast, to being good. When you have more muscle, more power, and more strength, you will in turn be a better player. You have to be. Now, you might change your style of play due to the fact that you can run more, but imagine you are already technical, you are already just amazing on the ball, and all you do is work on your strength, power, and speed, you will be unstoppable. And the last point, which is one of the main things of my aesthetic football system, is that looking good means you will play good. If you are confident, if you look good, you are going to play better. I am giving myself as an example. I'm giving other people who I have talked to as an example. The gym, it makes your confidence go through the roof when you see those gains. But the thing with this is you have to program it correctly so it doesn't affect your performance and will make your performance better from day one. I'm gonna bring this together with this. Muscle is not the problem. The real problems are you are skipping your ball work, you're not recovering, you have poor programming, and you're skipping your sprints and agility. The real reason why bodybuilding, getting strong, being in the gym all the time makes you a worse player is because you prioritize it or do it solely. You cannot do this. You must make sure that if you're gonna prioritize it, you do ball work almost every single day. I do it every day because I know that if I only do gym, especially in the off season, I will get stiff. You have to make sure that you are recovering correctly and that you are not putting all your energy into the gym because then you will not have energy for everything else. 3 is poor programming. So this is basically the way you organize your sessions. You cannot put your gym session first every single time. You have to change it up depending on what your goals are. So if you're in the off season, you want to build muscle, be stronger, get faster, and look better, of course, you're going to put your gym first. But that doesn't mean you will skip your ball work and your sprints. Because then another day, if you want to work on your sprints, you have to put your sprints first, which is going to take me into the next bit right here, which is reason why people think this is the problem, which is muscle, is because you're skipping your sprints and your agility work. You have to do this 2 to 3 times a week, sprinting max speed. That is the first thing that goes. When you don't sprint for a week, you already get slower. Look that up, by the way, because I'm not telling a lie. It goes the quickest at everything. Your technique, your conditioning, it's your speed. What am I talking about all this? It's because there have been people on the internet that you may have seen. The fascia boys, we've all seen them saying that you have to train like a natural. Being in the gym is the wrong way to do it. And what I want to do is bring attention to the fact that they are wrong. They are saying muscle makes you slow. That is a myth. Okay, muscle makes you faster, makes you stronger, makes you more powerful. Do not fall into the trap of being fear-mongered by these people. I am professional in the 4th division in Croatia. The reason why I am playing there is because of the way that I was training and the way I developed my own system that worked for me and I think will work for loads of people, which is the solution to all of this. Because again, there's always truth to everything, okay? Muscle can make you slow, but it is because you are doing it wrong. With the system that I developed, you are going to get better. You're going to get faster. You're not going to get slower. You're going to look better. You're going to be an aesthetic footballer. You're going to be feared by your opponents, which is all that I have wanted. And I know now when I play, that is what people are thinking. I will be going more in depth into the actual aesthetic football system, or the way I train, the way I have developed the system of training, looking good, playing good, balancing the gym with your sprint work, with your ball work, with your conditioning. But this is only the beginning. I just want you guys to understand that it is a lie. The biggest lie. Muscle does not make you slow.